Over the next 6.5 years and $500 million, downtown Dover is looking to turn itself not into just a revamped city, but one of the best and well-known cities on the East Coast. Let's get into this 200-plus page document, the Dover 2030 Plan, brought to us by the Downtown Dover Partnership. Jumping right into it, here's what we got: the initial summary, game plan, the overview and overarching shot of what Dover will look like in 2030. Let's look into a few things right quick just to get a gauge as to a few things that are going to be the big anchors around this project. Number one, we look down here, we're going to get a little amphitheater, a little concert space right on the pond, right where the river starts. I think that's an awesome addition, such a good use of the space we already have, and the water view that's already there. And just to make sure we're all oriented, right here is Lockerman Street. This is the beginning. You're going past the library. You got House of Coffee up here on the corner. And right here's the Lockerman State Street Exchange. And that is this anchor that is going to build around this entire plan. They'll even mention later that Lockerman Street is really going to be the spine of this entire renovation. Now, there is a lot of detail and well thought out planning in this document, and I did not get a chance to go through every single detail. So if you want to go through this document yourself, send it to a friend, or just be able to read through it along with me, download it right here. It's a free public document on the Delaware website. You'll be able to see it, the Downtown Partnership. It's the master plan, and you can download it yourself, look through all the amazing partners involved, and get all the details, that some of which I had to skip over in lieu of some of the amazing highlights of which I'm about to get into. So when we first heard about the Dover 2030 plan, I had 3 questions. Number one, who are you doing this for? Are you doing this for the current residents of Dover? Are you doing this for tourism, bring more people from out of state? Are you doing this for businesses that are located there? And when I started reading through this document, what I'm finding is they're doing it for kind of all 3. So I'm not going to read through this verbatim, but they spent months going through what's needed, what's not, and what's really going to make downtown Dover pop. A few things that pop out to me initially are the key anchors, the community anchors. I'm going to show you those later on a graph. Those are really cool. I love the strategy around that. More pro-business regulations. That's great. More restaurants, more bars, more museums, more things to do, more date nights, more shopping. It means more people walking around downtown, and that just improves downtown. And then also, I love the focus on the architecture and making sure that residents find it's updated and clean. And some of the things they're going to do on the art side are amazing, and you need to stick around if you're an art fan. And before I show you the actual mock-up they made of what these things are all going to look like, these different buildings and monuments, let's look at what they're looking to solve. Number one big issue, homelessness, and that's tied in with people walking through downtown. We need more pedestrian traffic. Homelessness has to be tackled as an issue before that can happen. The size of the streets and the way the sidewalks operate now, that's a big topic in this document. Again, the anchors, getting back to that, love the strategy for this. And this isn't my niche, being a real estate agent, but the current housing stock's not supportive of retail programming. It's not. There's not enough homes within walking distance that are owned by people who plan to be there for a long time that want to be a part of downtown Dover. So they want to bring in more pro-business regulations, more restaurants. They want to improve the streetscape. And one big one that I'm so happy they're tackling is parking. If you've been to downtown Dover for more than 30 minutes in your life, you know parking is a big issue. All right, here's where this document starts to get really fun, and this is kind of like an infographic that lays out what the game plan is. Again, I'm not going to go through everything, but the first few things that stick out to me: parking. Over 790 parking spaces created. That's huge. Garages, parking garages are a part of that. Hotel space, awesome. Grocery store. How about 15 acres of developed land? Also 21 acres of green space. Love that. The parks are so important. The community amphitheater, we talked about that at the beginning, but this is such a cool infographic. And also at the top, a big one, 927 residential units created through condos and apartments. They got 6 different buildings going up. We'll see those in a second. You can see those at the beginning in that little front section. What I'm about to show you is the game plan for what driving in from the West Dover side into downtown Dover will look like in 6.5 years. The railroad arrival. You have the Railroad Ave apartments. You have the Dover Monument, the big picture op. I don't know if this is to scale. If it is, that's like a daggone 15-foot monument, but this is gorgeous. And we're going to look at some other monuments they have planned. They're thinking it's very important that every main entryway into downtown Dover via biking, walking, or driving has some form of wow or culture. And I think that's really smart. They even have it mapped out, and they have a few of these kind of detailing where the main gateways into Dover are. And I'll kind of show a few. One is right here. This is the entryway where you actually pass right in front of the Capitol into the legislative area. That's a really big entryway. Above me, you'll see the entryway in the Lockerman Street, and over here, Forest Street. This is the railroad entrance we just saw with the big Dover monument and the condo apartments. That and all these other orange dots are the main entryways they're seeing into Dover. All right, so this is the idea for the 3 different monuments that they're going to have throughout Dover, like the big pieces. One I'm really excited for, one I'm cool with, and one I'm going to hold my opinion back on. The welcoming archway, I think's awesome. I think that's great. But here's my thing. The abstract sculpture is gigantic, it looks like. And if this is anything to scale in comparison to this archway, which is going to have to be humongous, I've seen some pictures of it that are a bunch of different colors. I don't really know what it's made out of. Might have to wait to see that one standing to actually get a full opinion. But geez, talk about some eye-grabbing pieces. I love this document so much for all the detail, but especially here, we get all the different ways that people travel into downtown Dover, the different anchor points, which are the little suns that you see throughout the map, and even little walking distance radiuses, so they can say, okay, from here it takes 5 minutes to walk out there. We should have something between here and there that does X, Y, or Z. I love the detail. Aptly named Lockerman Tomorrow, they want Lockerman Street to really be the spine of this entire revamp. So one of the biggest things they're looking to do is improve the sidewalks by expanding them, by taking it from a 4-car roadway with room for parking on both sides in the middle of the actual road to shorter roads going from 12-foot lanes to 10-foot lanes, and then only having 1 parking lane instead of 2, freeing up 11 feet of space on the sidewalk side. We're now going from 7-foot sidewalks to 12-foot sidewalks. That's incredible, and that's just the walking area. They say they still have a 4-foot gap, as you can see, for trees, lampposts, all that, and you can see here what the kind of game plan for the look is. I like it. All right, I don't know the priority list of what they're looking to get done over the next 6.5 years, but if this can be moved to the front, I will gladly get on my hands and knees like them and assist in the painting of this awesome intersection, these really cool crosswalks, right at the Lockerman Exchange. We're here at Loft Realty 146 South State Street, so this is right within walking distance. I mean, literally 50 feet. And how cool for videos, photos, just to be able to see when you drive through. Love this. Again, more details. We could go through it all. Bike paths, how they're going to function on the streets versus sidewalks. Again, this document is available in the description below. Just click on the link and you'll be able to check out everything Dover's going to have in 2030. Signage is another one that they picked up pretty heavily in this document as to where to walk around, where things are, how to get to certain destinations. And they've suggested these kind of vertical facing, kind of arrow structures. I don't know if I 100% like them, but it definitely would help people, especially who don't know where they're going, getting around. I love this so much also because we're right here. That's our building. And look how cool this is, and especially what they're looking to do to the beautiful building at the Lockerman Exchange. They want to turn into a food hall, food court, multiple different areas to get lunch, dinner, different types of foods from different vendors, food trucks, bunch of different variety. And then up top, they want to have a restaurant again. Now, the parking strategy. Now, I'm a little disappointed when I pulled up this side of the document. Let me tell you why. I'm probably a lot like you. When I travel, I have a few specific needs, like just a couple ticks that keep me going when I travel, because things are different, and some things keep me anchored. And when I travel to big cities, when I think of Baltimore, when I go to Boston, I've been to LA or San Diego or El Paso, these big cities, there's 1 or 2 things I always want to do. One, I want to have your best taco, bar none, need it. Number 2, I need to DoorDash to the hotel that night. I'm probably going to DoorDash food. I'm probably going to get a burger. So the first 2 are food, but the third one is around this. I need to ride the scooters. If you've ever been to downtown areas that have the electric scooters, I love them so much. And when I opened up this plan and saw they weren't looking to add scooters and instead opting for bike share and more car share, I get it, but I was hoping for scooters. If you didn't understand what I was saying earlier about having the sidewalk expand, this is a better example, kind of showcasing what they are looking to do, keeping the trees, but getting them more closer to the actual road, giving more space for walking, and then having off-street dining is something you really want to bring in. I fully back this project, don't get me wrong. But being here for as long as I've lived in this county, in this city, in this state, I can't imagine State or Lockerman Street looking like this. I would love to see this happen. I mean, look, you got the condos in the background, the thriving ecosystem of business or restaurant up here, the food court. These guys are having a great day. And downtown Dover, we need it. Also, back to my point about these things, this kind of looks like an eyesore, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe it's the colors, but I don't like these. I don't know why. I just don't. As you see here, respect for historic character. That's a big one that's laced all throughout. But here are the two different palettes they're going to try to mix in. The architecture shift, being a little bit more contemporary while keeping our historic look is important. We want to be updated. We want to be up to date. We want to be, soothing to the eye. But at the same exact time, we want to keep our historic presence because we have a lot of this history and no one wants to see it go away. So off Governors and New Street, we have the proposed 27,000 square foot Dover grocery market. And as you could tell from the CGI, there's 6 cars in the parking lot, but like 40 people that are hanging out there. I don't know if that will end up being the look, but the architecture looks great. Here's another look at Lockerman Street, between the crosswalks, between the off-street seating. Looks so good. And look, these guys are hugging. They love it here. This is downtown Dover. This is how I'm going to look at it in my brain now when I'm driving through. And it's not going to happen right away, which stinks. The Priscilla building, the cornerstone of downtown Dover, has been absolutely doing nothing for years. Proposed to be a food hall, mainly based off the fact DSU getting into downtown. We also have a lot of people that work in the area, us included, being right here. That's our building. So this looks incredible. Would absolutely love this. And the thought of having a food hall right down the road sounds great. But look how beautiful this looks. It's such an amazing building. And it looks pretty similar to this right now. This doesn't have a lot of architectural changes outside of the storefronts and the windows. A lot of that's staying the same. So it's a beautiful building. The architecture, the art, man, this needs to happen. It needs to happen. Earlier, I made a mistake. I said overlooking Lockerman Street, you'd see the condos, but I was wrong. That is a hotel. Brick and black. That is sleek for a hotel. I love that. Now, if we check this one out, this goes back to the pond and the park that they're looking to basically improve upon right off of the pond. And they're proposing shutting down one of the 2 roads. Now, I think the answer is obvious, is that you shut off traffic from Park Drive coming from Division Street. As you can see, you have from Division Street up here, and you have from Lockerman Street here. Here's my take. All throughout this document, Lockerman Street is your hub. Everything you're building around is around Lockerman Street. And here, when I look at the main paths of traffic, and when I look at the easiest access in, I don't want this road closed. I want to be able to have it be right here and boof right in. Some form of parking would need to be there, of course. If there can't be parking, then that's a whole different story. But I want to be right off Lockerman Street. Why wouldn't it be right off Lockerman Street? Why make people come off Division or Bayard? This is where it's more residential anyway. It doesn't make sense to me. How cool is this? Amphitheater right on the river, art, walking paths, a bridge. I love it. I know I've said I love it a lot, but the courtyards, the use of the space that's already there, just seems like common sense, right? Why not take all of the space we already have and transform it into something that we can utilize, where concerts can be, and art design contests can be had, and kids can play tag, okay? That's just gorgeous. Look at the plans, and very meticulous. Good Lord, part of the budget had to just go toward getting this document made, because the amount of engineering and CGI that went into some of these is just moronic. I love it. Also, if we can create a world where food trucks pull up all the time, I'm so a part of that world. These are some of the ideas for the Riverwalk. This is a big plan. I see basketball. I see kids feeding ducks, a park, a lot of space for walking, park play, and I see mini golf. I didn't read about mini golf when I went through this document, but I'm just now seeing for the first time mini golf. I'm up for that. So I'm not going to walk you through a P&L sheet, but if you want to see an invoice of the projected cost that they're seeing, and this is just for a portion of Governor's Avenue, you'll see at the very bottom, the projected budget comes right up to a smooth $88 million just for this section. Again, this entire project's projected budget sits at $500 million, $500 million, to get the project completed. Like I said, this document's in the bio. If you're a numbers geek like I am and you want to go through all of these, they're all in this document, every last projected number. So many plans, so many strategies, and so many details in this plan for Dover 2030, to include my favorite one, maybe of this entire plan, is the minor league baseball team. If we got a minor league stadium, catch Loft Realty's logo all over, because we will be so a part of that. The Blue Rock Stadium up in Wilmington is one they reference, Frawley. It does really well. I think Dover would fully support something like that. I love that idea. Between college, military, plenty of people would support that. Not to mention the secondary use for concerts and other things like that are obviously things they're considering. But y'all, this document's incredible. There's so many details, so many plans, so many future businesses and opportunities they want to bring to Dover. I encourage you, jump into this document and you tell me, what are your thoughts in the comments about Dover 2030? Do you think it's going to happen? Can the money be spent better? Should it go somewhere else? $500 million? Is this something that's even attainable for $500 million? I want to know your thoughts. Put them in the chat below. My name's Zachary Faust with Loft Realty. Google us if you want to see what we're about. Veteran owned and operated, and we are fully behind and local to the Dover 2030 project, and we're looking forward to see what happens with it. And we'll continue to keep you updated here at Loft.